You're listening to EmpowerTech with me, Iyari Cevallos. This series is a collaboration with Women in Technology, spotlighting the remarkable winners of the 2025 WiT Awards. Across these episodes, you'll hear from outstanding leaders and innovators whose work is paving the way for a more inclusive and impactful tech future. Their stories remind us what's possible when talent, purpose, and determination come together. Dr Lalehvash Moghaddam is the 2025 Women in Technology Excellence in Industry Leadership Award winner. She's a senior industrial chemist with over a decade of pioneering research in transforming waste into value. Her work focuses on converting industrial and agricultural waste into biofuels, biopolymers, and other high-value products, advancing the frontiers of green chemistry and sustainable innovation. Recognised both nationally and internationally for her expertise in biomass chemistry, polymer processing, and waste valorisation, Dr. Moghaddam leads a dynamic multidisciplinary team that tackles some of the most pressing environmental challenges. From lab-scale breakthroughs to pilot-scale implementations, her projects explore novel pre-treatment and processing strategies to produce renewable fuels, biochemicals, and biomaterials. Throughout her career, she has consulted extensively with industry, evaluating thermal conversion pathways for diverse waste feedstocks and unlocking opportunities for upcycling food, biocomposites, and circular materials. Her mission? To turn waste into worth, to inspire a new generation of scientists to see sustainability as a catalyst for creativity and change. Lalehvash, so great to have you here today. So excited that you've come in to talk to us.
Thank you very much for having me and inviting me here.
Yes. Look, let's get started. Can you tell us what drives your passion for the work that you do?
So I love science. Science activated me for as long as I remember. I was that curious kid, troublemaker, always asking questions, always dreaming about inventing something that could genuinely make a difference. I spent hours watching science documentaries, and absorbing the discoveries and breakthrough that scientists they did. Nobel Prize winners especially inspired me. They weren't just brilliant minds. They were relentless problem solvers. What fascinated me most was how societies kept pushing forward, tackling challenges with creativity and resilience. That inspiration of innovation and preservation is what continues to drive my passion for research. I also have this drive to lead, as I always lead my brothers, where it is in the playground or in the classroom, I could never take a backseat.
Wonderful. And those programs or documentaries that you mentioned, can you give us an example of some of those things that you watched when you were younger?
It was different type of science I really liked. So, for example, Louis Pasteur life, how they create penicillin from the Alexander Flemings. I know they are not chemists, but they are always inspired me. Marie Curie's life, how persistent she was, and how all the scientists were persistent to get what they want, and they never gave up. Even the whole society were against of them. They still did, and they still tried to get what they did. Yes, that's right.
And how did you get access to watching and knowing about those people when you were younger?
So it was normal TV shows when I was a kid. So all the cartoons that we were watching, it was that. And I remember my mom used to read us stories about the scientists. My mom was obsessed about scientists.
Oh, so she was a big influence in how you got to know about these things.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wonderful.
So it was our night stories was, for example, It was a magazine that we had. It's called Scientist on that time, and she used to read the little stories, and it was inspired us.
Yeah, wonderful. That is a really cool way of, I guess, seeing and hearing about some of those things you were interested in when you were younger, knowing that potentially some of those things weren't readily available, and a big influence your mum must have had at that time.
Yes.
Wonderful. And why did you choose the field that you're in now? How did you get from that interest that you had when you were younger to where you are at today?
I've always been drawn to chemistry. I loved chemistry. And it feels like a mystery waiting to be unrevealed.
Yeah.
It wasn't just another subject in school. It made sense for me. It felt like my calling. What made it special for me was how it clicked, how I understand. It was just like something that it's inside me. Watching reactions unfold sparked my imagination and pushed me to explore the why behind what and how. That sense of wonder has never left me. It still fuels my passion of research every single day. As my career progressed, I gravitated toward petrochemistry and polymer. But over time, I've become increasingly aware of environmental impact of petroleum-based material the realization of shifted my focus towards developing bio-based material and bio-based precursors for chemistry and stuff like that. Towards the sustainability and how we can use waste to valuable product. It's a field that science meets responsibility at the intersection continue to drive my work.
Okay. So in terms of the chemistry and your interest there, did it start in high school?
Yes. So when I was younger, we had 3 levels of the school. So it was primary school, guidance school, and high school. So from the primary and guidance school, we had science. It developed. So for example, in primary school, it was a simpler science. But in high school, it was very deep understanding of the chemistry, biology, physics, and maths.
Okay.
So yes, it was in high school.
Okay. And did you do university as well?
Yes. Yeah, so I did my undergrad and master back in my country. I'm from Iran. And then I came to Australia for PhD.
And was it very different in terms of what you were learning in your home country versus in Australia?
Yes, it was. It's just different perspectives. So theoretical was very, very deep over there rather than the lab hands-on chemistry in Iran.
Okay.
It was
very different.
Very theoretical in Iran. I learned a lot. And then it was always, I really loved chemistry. So
that love continued.
Yeah.
So in terms of what made you decide to do your PhD here?
So I always wanted to have an impact, and pursue different things. I saw where I was and wanted to grow bigger, not bigger, have a different experience, if you would like. When you have different experience, you get more perspective and you can understand different challenges, if you would like. So I came to Australia in 2003 and started my PhD on that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the things that surprised you the most when you arrived here?
In my journey or in my PhD?
Both.
Okay. So one of the surprises in my journey was realizing just how different male and female scientists can be treated throughout their career. While progress has certainly been made, I found that women often have to work much harder to be heard and to be seen and taken seriously, if you would like. I was genuinely surprised by how long it took for my idea to gain traction, even after spending 10 years passionately developing bio-based material, while many others focused on more conventional approaches to enhance their value. Coming from another country added another layer of the complexity.
I bet.
Yeah, navigating a new culture, new and different traditions and perspectives deeply shaped my experience. In some point was difficult, but it's made me grow and made me understand people way better. When I got pushed down, when my ideas weren't accepted, I didn't give up. It's just my personality. I never gave up. I tried harder to find another way to show them my perspective, to make the science speak for itself.
Okay.
I always had a persistent personality, as I mentioned, but even I was tested as my career took unexpected turns. There were moments of doubt, days when I questioned myself and felt like giving up. But the childhood passion, the night stories for solving the unknown never left me.
Yes.
It's what kept me going even when the path was very hard and tough. Although along the way I found mentors in the most unexpected places, people who may not have fit in traditional mold, but offered wisdom, encouragement, or even resistance that helped me grow. Every single person I've encountered have taught me something, whether through support or challenge, kindness or criticism. Each interaction has pushed me to reach higher and think deeper. So, yeah.
The people around you make a big difference, don't they?
Yeah.
And that persistence that you mentioned around, having challenges and thinking about why you're doing what you're doing has enabled you to keep moving forward.
Yes, that's right.
Can you give us some examples of some of the cultural challenges that you faced? I know that there are many of our listeners that have very different cultural backgrounds, and it'd be great to hear some of those examples that you faced. For those of us that have been living here our entire lives and don't necessarily see these types of things.
So for me, that coming from the different cultures, always the senior person, regardless of their age or their level of their, for example, the knowledge, we don't argue that much with them for challenging the ideas, and that perhaps was very different for me. While, for example, other colleagues that I had, or the other co-workers, they had more not experience, more confidence with what they believed in, right?
Okay.
So I learned that on the way, that I have to stand up for what I believe it is true, and perhaps it taught me to stand up a lot for myself. And
okay, so when you originally, in the earlier part of you being here, you found it a little bit challenging to speak up.
Yes, that's right.
When it came to people that were in a higher role than you. And do you think that was a cultural norm that you came with, or was it just the environment that you were in?
Perhaps back in those days it was the culture, because always the teachers, the people that they were higher in knowledge, it's like a superior in kind of, so you always feel that they know better than you, and perhaps challenging the idea that you have, it's kind of become a little bit rude if you challenge them. And that was a little bit difficult for me. That
coming with that perspective.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So in Australia, you found that was different, but you found it difficult to adjust to that.
Yeah, it took a little bit time, and took actually a lot of mentors that I had here pushed me to stand up for yourself. Is that you're right, just you need to stand up with what you believe.
Yeah, and find your voice, I suppose, as well. Find how to do that in a way that you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah, that's right. And also, my industry partners were my champion too. Because they believed in me. Although I'm a quiet person, they believed in me, and they saw what I didn't see in myself at the beginning when I was doubting myself. So they helped me a lot. And because of that, I love working with industry.
Okay. So, yeah, I can see how potentially when you're in that sort of self-doubt mindset, it's difficult to see how brilliant your idea might be, for example, and others can see that what you're doing is good work.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Excellent. Okay. I can see how many might relate to that. It would be great to understand now, what is it that you really love about what you're doing today?
So as I mentioned, I'm not a fundamental chemist. I'm applied chemist. So what I do is mainly work with industry, and I really love working with that because it's basically it's a challenge that you want to solve somebody else's problem or some questions that sounds very simple, but is deep. And you also need to find it in a very cheap way that is not too complicated to be adopted by industry. You saw many amazing minds, the inventors, the industries that want something for a better future, not only for Australia, not only for industry, for the whole new generation that is coming. And you want to be part of that. It's amazing working with industry.
And in terms of the process that you are a part of, how is it lab work as well as, being in front of a computer and talking to industry? Can you give us a sense of what that's like?
So what is that is we work in the lab. So we find the new ideas. So for example, in bio-based materials, so for example, how we can convert agricultural low-value material like sugarcane bagasse, like for example, waste forestry to valuable product. How you can break down those materials to make it like a precursors that we usually getting from the petroleum industry, and replace that with a more sustainable material, if you would like. Okay.
So you're taking materials that we might classify as waste, potentially,
yes, that's right.
And then finding ways to put them back into industry where petroleum's being used at the moment.
Yes, that's right. So, for example, we use them to making fuel, to making mattresses. It's very strange things, the car seats that we're making.
Okay.
Most of them, they are based materials. So we're making them in the lab. However, we have to develop the process in the way that industry can adopt that. Because,
easily.
Yeah, so because there is a journey from the lab to the industry and to the production
line.
Yeah, exactly.
So the minimal amount of change that we can have in that production, the more adaptable it is, and obviously the easier industry will take it on. So you're kind of doing two things, right? You're looking at what we can reuse that's considered waste.
Yeah.
And also reducing the need for petroleum-based products.
That's right. And so, for example, the process that we have, they have waste as well. And we think about it that, okay, this waste that we produce, how we can use them again. So, for example, we're using a technology, right? So, for example, called hydrothermal liquefaction. So, at high temperature, high pressure, we're breaking down all of the molecules into the starting material. That itself has waste, like solid residue that we have. For a while, we didn't know what to do with it, but now we can make batteries from them. We can make absorbent for the wastewater treatment and stuff. So it is the way that how we think to use a waste from something to valuable product for something else. It's like, for example, unwanted something or for one person is a valuable thing for another person.
Yes. Yeah, one man's garbage is another man's treasure, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. And I assume that at the moment, if we don't find uses for this waste, that it goes into the environment. Is that fair to assume?
We try to minimize our environmental impact because we're trying to be circular economy.
Yes.
So even the waste goes back to the starting material to be used again.
But if your job didn't exist, then that waste would go to the environment. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
So we want to reduce the environmental impact of the waste, petroleum-based material,
and then replace the things that we use petroleum on altogether.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So we're slowly chipping away at the cycle.
That's right. But the thing is, it's progressing, and we are in a very starting steps.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a long way to go. So if you want a job in this space, there's lots to
Coming in.
Okay. What other surprises or challenges have you had in terms of shaping your journey? Is there anything else that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, funding is always a challenge.
Funding. Is there a team that comes together to get funding, or is it something that you have to go and look for?
It's both ways. We have to look for the funding, and also is a teamwork. We have to understand that all of these works is not one individual work. It's a chain. Is the people's input, and it's not only one mind can make huge impact. It's a lot of people working in that area. It's just basically, it's like a chain. And if all of this chain work together, make it better, right? But you need to find the right mind for that.
Yes. So the right people, and I'm assuming that you've been growing your network as you've been progressing in your career.
That's right. That's right.
Look, if there was a young girl or a young boy thinking about making a difference like you have and you are, what advice would you share with those aspiring to follow in your path?
So my biggest advice to them is never give up. Although it's a bumpy road, it's a roller coaster, never give up. Whatever challenge you face, try to use it to your advantage. It might not feel like it's in the moment. Is something that you want, but even the criticism, especially when it feels unfair, right? It might bring you down. But just remember it's how it shape you actually, basically, make you stronger, more thoughtful scientists can come out of it, right? So when you have a challenge, don't feel sad about it. On that time, yes, you feel sad, but actually that gives you perspective. It's what I want to emphasize, that don't give up. I've learned to embrace those moments and grow from them. Learn from each person and any person. Even if they unfairly treat you, you will learn something from everybody. Working with the industry, as I mentioned, has also taught me a lot. It offers a broader perspective in problem solving and help me to ask right questions. That kind of exposure is invaluable. And when you fall or get pushed down and feel like giving up, remember it is your story. You decide how it's written. Never let anybody take that pen away from you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so you write your story.
Yes.
And remember, science is not an easy path. You fail more often than you succeed.
Yes.
But when you do win, there is no better feeling. So celebrate every win and don't dwell too much on losses. Use them as a stepping stone. Every failure brings you a step closer to your success. Work on what truly inspires you, what gives you spark in your heart. And not for paycheck. Just do what makes you happy and what you love. Love what you do. You're never tired of doing what you really like to do. Broaden your networks and seek out mentors who challenge you, not just those who tell you what you want to hear. And don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. That's where real growth happens. And when the boundaries get pushed, you get more out of it.
That's wonderful. I really like what you said about having more thoughtful scientists. Can you talk a little bit more about what you mean by that?
So when you treated unfair, you felt not seen and not heard, right? It gives you perspective of another person when it comes to your pathway. So you will understand the feeling of another person when they don't see they feel not seen and not heard.
Okay.
So it makes you more thoughtful about the people and their journey.
Yes.
So it gives you different perspectives.
And how does that help you in your job?
I work with a lot of students and I have a lot of experience, that how I didn't want to be treated and I had a lot of unfair treatment.
Okay.
So it makes me to understand people better.
Okay. And you're more conscious about the way you treat them?
Yes, that's right. Because our job, if we want to be a good leader, our job is inspire people. It gives them and show them what is their potential. And when they know their potential, they can shine. It is our job to show them that they are shooting a star, right? They have the spark in them, inside them, but they just need somebody to show them.
Yes. And not only does that, I guess, help them bring their best selves to the work that they do.
Exactly.
But I'm assuming it also ensures that the things that you're working on are being input in a really big, like there's more significant impact they can make on the work.
That's right. That's right. The thing is, we, as our society, we are responsible for whoever comes to our life. We have to lead them, right? Lead them that they be the leader. And then when they feel it in their heart, they can do the best what they can do. Because for me, it was one person that believed me, and that helped me a lot.
Yes. Okay.
I think they have to be compassion. You know what I'm saying? I think definitely if there is something was hard on people, they need to learn that they need to be understanding people as well. And it is big thing in my group. I don't want anybody feels that they've been left out.
Yes. And it's front of mind for you because of the experiences that you've had.
Yeah. And I don't want anybody to have the experience that I had.
Yes.
And I don't want definitely my daughters have the same experience.
Yeah, and that's, I guess what I'm hearing you say is that it's very central to the way that you lead.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And that's unique to you.
Yeah, I treat everybody like my family, and I see my students like my children. So I do for them what I want somebody to treat me like, treat my children.
Well, it's admirable. You don't have to put in that effort, right? It's what you choose to do.
Oh, I just love them.
Yeah. That's great.
They're mine.
So we're happy to end on that lovely note. I do want to ask you for some top tips. We usually ask for our listeners, what are your top tips for listeners to empower themselves? So if they do want to go down this path of science, which sounds exciting, and they're able to make an enormous impact, whether they go into leadership or not, what would be your top tips in terms of them in empowering themselves?
The first thing is follow your passion. Never give up. Have compassion with everybody who comes to your life. You don't have to accept what people said. Just have a compassion. And love what you do.
Yes, I like that. Love what you do. And if they're still trying to work out what they might do either for uni or post-uni, what would be your advice? So in terms of loving what they do, is this about following what they think they might want to do and trying something out?
Yeah, the thing so when we are a child, there is something always that is inspire us. Like, for example, for somebody is a dance, for somebody is singing, for somebody is learning, reading, writing. That is the destiny that they have. And we all have a destiny. So follow that one. When you feel lost, go back to your childhood. What was that you always loved to do?
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us. It's very inspiring, the work that you do. And we wish you all the luck with the things that you're on with. We certainly need more people like you tackling the challenges that you're tackling.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for listening today. Do keep in mind that this is a podcast for informational purposes, and all we're really doing is sharing our opinions on things that matter to us. With that being said, if you liked what you heard and want to continue supporting us, share this podcast with your network to help us grow and bring on even more guests. Until next time, this is Iyari from EmpowerTech, signing off.